The objective today is to understand prime factorization. But what is prime or what is composite number? A prime number has exactly two factors, one and itself. A few examples of prime numbers are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 29, and many more. As you can see, these numbers are only divisible by 1 and itself. They don't have any other factor. Also, one thing to notice is that 2 is the only even prime number. What is a composite number? A number that has more than two factors. So some examples are 4, 6, 21, 34, and many more. These numbers are divisible by 1 and itself, but also by other factors. Number 1 is a special number. It only has one factor, itself. So 1 is neither prime or composite. Take a screenshot now of this slide, and these are the prime numbers between 0 and 100. They are going to be very useful in doing prime factorization. So now that we know what is a prime number, let's prime factor a number. When we write a number as a product of primes, it is called prime factorization. So let's do some examples to understand how can we factor a number using only prime numbers. So let's find the prime factorization of 24. I am going to be using a factor tree. There are many other ways of prime factoring a number, but I am going to show you how to do it with a factor tree. This is a super easy method to use when you do prime factorization. So 24. Think of two factors that when you multiply them, you get 24. Well, there are many options, right? 1 times 24, or 2 times 12, or 3 times 8. We have several options. So, a quick suggestion is never use 1 and 24. Never use 1 and itself, because you are not factoring 24. Here you need to factor again 24. So never use 1 and the number. So any of the other options will be okay. So I am going to use 3 and 8. But if you use 2 and 12, it will work. You will get the same answer. So 3 times 8 is 24. So I'm using these factors. Then ask this question. Is 3 a prime number? If you remember that table of prime numbers between 0 and 100, 3 is a prime number. So you circle it. Is 8 a prime number? 8 is not a prime number. You can find factors of 8 more than 1 and itself. So let's keep factoring 8. So again, don't use 1 and 8. So think of other two numbers that when you multiply them, you get 8. So 2 and 4. 2 times 4 is 8. Then ask the question again. Is 2 a prime number? Yes, it is. Remember that 2 is the only even prime number. Is 4 a prime number? 4 is not a prime number, so keep going. Keep factoring 4. 2 factors of 4, besides 1 and 4, will be 2 and 2. 2 times 2 is 4, and these two are prime numbers. Once you reach only prime numbers, that means that you're done. Okay, how do we write the answer? All the numbers that we circled are going to be part of your answer. That's why we circle the prime numbers. So let's start with the lowest prime number that we see. The lowest is 2. How many 2's do we see? 1, 2, 3. So we need to do the product of these prime numbers. So 2 times 2 times 2, because there are 3 2's. And don't forget that 3 times 3. So the product, remember that product means multiplication of its prime numbers. Another way of writing this, remember, if you have the same number multiplied several times, like in this case 2 times 2 times 2, we can write it with an exponent. If you don't remember how to write exponential form or an expression with exponents, I am going to leave you that video here so you can have a refresher about powers and exponents. So 2 to the power of 3 times 3 will be another option of writing the answer of prime factorization of 24. Let's try another one. Prime factor 85. So 85 is a bigger number, so let's think of factors of 85. Well, I remember from my lesson, rules of divisibility. If you don't remember the rules of divisibility, if you need a refresher on that, I will leave you that video here in the description too. I remember from that lesson that if a number ends with 5, that number is going to be divisible by 5. So for sure, 5 is a factor. If I don't know the other factor, I can do a quick long division because I know that 85 is going to be divisible by 5. So let's do a quick long division. 5 fits 1 time in 8. And then I have a remainder of 3. This 5 drops down. How many 5s fit in 35? 7. That will be 35 with no remainder. So the other factor is 17. So 5 times 17 will give me that 85. Then I ask the question, is 5 a prime number? Yes, 5 is a prime number, so I circle it. Is 17 a prime number? Yes, it is. 17 only has 1 and 17 as factors, so that means that I'm done. So the prime factorization will be 5 times 17, the product of prime numbers of 85. What about 160? 160 is a big number and it has many factors that when you multiply them you get 160. Remembering again the rules of divisibility, 160 is an even number, so it can be divisible by 2. 160 is also divisible by 5 because it ends in 0. Also divisible by 10. Numbers that end with 0 are divisible by 10. Again, if you don't remember these rules of divisibility, they are very helpful in this type of lesson, so go and check it out. I'm going to leave it here in the description. And you can use any of these pair of factors. So I am going to use 10 and 16. But you can use other factors and at the end we will have the same answer. So ask the question, is 10 a prime number? 10 is not a prime number, so I need to keep factoring. Is 16 a prime number? No, it's not, so you keep factoring 16 too. So now give me factors of 10. 5 and 2 are factors of 10. 5 times 2 is 10. So is 5 a prime number? Yes, it is, so I circle it. Is 2 a prime number? Yes, so that means that I'm done with that side. I'm done with 10. Let's continue with 16. For 16, I can use 2 and 8, or I can use 4 times 4. I'm using 2 and 8, but remember that any of those pairs will work. Is 2 a prime number? Yes, it is, so I'm done. Is 8 a prime number? No, it's not, so keep going. Now give me factors of 8. 2 times 4. 2 is a prime number, so I circle it. 4 is not, so keep going. Remember, you finish until you reach only prime numbers. And factors of 4, that will be 2 times 2. That means that I'm done. I cannot factor this anymore. And remember that all these numbers that you circle are going to be part of your answer. So let's start with the smallest one. The smallest one is 2. How many 2's do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 2's multiplied, because we're doing the product of prime numbers, and don't forget about your 5, times 5. And if you want to write it with exponents, you can write it as 2 to the power of 5 times 5. Both of these answers are correct. This one will be the expanded form. This one will be with exponents. What about the prime factor of 19? Well, 19 is already a prime number. So the only thing that you can do for 19 is only factor with 1 and itself, right? So your answer is only 1 times 19, or just 19. When you have a prime number, the only option is itself. Okay, now is your turn. Find the prime factorization of these numbers. My suggestion is to use a factor tree. You can pause this video now, open your notebook or take out a piece of paper, solve these problems, then click play, and I will give you the solution at the end of this video. Don't forget to like this video, share, and subscribe. If you're interested in any objective, please let me know. Follow me on my social media, Instagram and Twitter @NumeritosTv. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.